Hidden among some of Community's best episodes, like Modern Warfare, Basic Rocket Science, and Epidemiology, lies a gem that's often overshadowed by its more over-the-top, higher-budget counterparts. On the surface, The Psychology of Letting Go is a perfectly average episode, unless you look closer, or rather, farther, because in the background, and I mean literally in the background, Abed delivers a baby. And while we'll dive into this saga of an Easter egg, I also want to talk about how this episode really encapsulates what made Community one of the best shows to ever air. Plus, how this plot point returned later on in the season.
Okay, so it seems as though we have a clip. You want to set it up for us?
I'd like to, but I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, we'll just roll it.
As with most Community episodes, The Psychology of Letting Go starts off pretty straightforward. While Jeff and the girls banter and Shirley does Shirley things,
I knew it. Things are going too well for you.
It's easy to miss that in the background, Abed is having a very animated conversation with the pregnant lady. In fact, I watched this episode multiple times without ever noticing. It's easy to miss since it's only on the screen for a few seconds. After this, Abed follows a very shell-shocked Troy into the study room. Troy, who lives with Pierce, just saw Pierce's dead mom in the garage.
So I guess she crawled out there to die like a cat?
He's pretty shaken up, but Pierce comes in like nothing even happened. Turns out, his cult believes that dead people can be vaporized and then resurrected once science becomes advanced enough. This and the pregnant woman quickly establish the main theme of the episode, the cycle of life and death. After the theme song plays, the group tries to convince Jeff to talk to Pierce. This is one of the last times Abed is really in the foreground of the show. Jeff tells them they need to be more accepting of Pierce's religion, mostly because he can't be bothered to do anything about it, and he knows the group will respond well to guilt tripping.
Can't you be cool like me?
He ends so many of his speeches that way.
This line here is a bit of a throwaway that might make you smile.
He hasn't cried yet, and from what I've been told, that's not normal.
But I think it's great that the character who has a hard time relating to people is the one who winds up helping a random girl deliver her baby, even after, well, you'll see. Okay, so after editing most of this video, I went back and watched the commentary for this episode, and it turns out that Abed and this girl are not complete strangers. I'm gonna let you guess, based on Abed's hand gestures, what the nature of their relationship might be. I don't really think this detracts anything from my point, so let's just get back to the video. If you didn't know, Abed is autistic. He has a harder time relating to people, but he's willing to put in the work to help others when they need him. He's the perfect foil to Jeff, who understands people and relationships, but uses this knowledge to exploit others.
The scoreboard lights up. There will be a scoreboard there. It's complete! Nice catch!
I should mention the B story, which is a sort of rivalry between Annie and Britta as they raise money for an oil spill. It's not super entertaining, but it's, whoa, wait, it's Abed and the pregnant lady again, and some guy. Uh-oh, Abed, run! In the next scene, Jeff gets some very minor bad news. His cholesterol is slightly high. This sends him into an existential crisis, as he has to face his own mortality, which plays nicely into the theme of life and death. Later, while the rest of the group stays silent about Pierce's mom now being in a lava lamp,
Wait, what?
Jeff can't help from making a smart remark or two and scoffing at Pierce's beliefs. If you look closely, you can see Abed reading a baby pamphlet before the conversation gets heated. Abed's story continues as he and the woman and her boyfriend or husband or whatever sit down to chat in the background. In the foreground, Professor Ian Duncan tries to talk to Jeff about his crisis. He suggests that Jeff's realization of his own mortality is making him lash out at Pierce's religion.
A cult might, for instance, sell you a tube of Jell-O and tell you your mother is in it.
Jeffrey!
I love how these scenes are shot. Even after noticing Abed's background story at the start, I still originally missed this piece of it. Between Jeff addressing a relatable topic of facing one's own physical limitations, the other background characters, and people moving between the camera and Jeff, it's easy to miss Abed walk right past.
Do you just constantly have your own little side adventures?
Yep.
Me too.
Jeff gathers Troy and Pierce to go get ice cream. They're really just going to the morgue to see Pierce's non-vaporized mom, so Jeff can feel better about his own mortality. Meanwhile, Annie and Britta's argument has degraded into this. It's a bit juvenile if Shirley's expression is any, holy crap, Abed is delivering a baby. Look at that, in the parking lot. There's his legs. Ah, the miracle of life. While Jeff is driving Pierce and Troy to the morgue, they find a CD Pierce's mom recorded before her death. It's touching and it helps Jeff realize that life is special because it's short and not limitless. My favorite part is that she's talking about miracles right as Abed delivers the baby. You can even hear the mom screaming if you listen closely.
We're supposed to fill it with every mistake and miracle we can manage.
It's a good line of dialogue even if you aren't aware of the Abed background story, but with this, it's just perfect. The whole episode is about the cycle of life and death, and this caps it off wonderfully. Jeff accepting his own mortality, Pierce's mom's final words, and the miracle of a new life. At the end of the episode, Shirley asks Abed what he's been up to all week, and he responds by saying,
Not much.
And in the background is the family with their new baby. And that's not even the last time this story is referenced. Let's talk about how risky this little stunt was. They had to pay Danny Pudi to act in all these scenes, but the majority of the audience probably didn't even notice he was there. That's significant money and effort spent on a story/gag that most viewers will never even see. Not only that, but you risk making the main focus of the episode less enjoyable by depriving it of one of the funniest characters in the series. But the showrunners were willing to take that risk. I personally have never seen anything like this done on television before. Seeing it unfold felt like being part of an episode-long inside joke, combined with discovering a conspiracy. They continue the inside joke later on in season 2 when Abed helps Shirley deliver her baby.
Her contractions are still 6 minutes apart, so unless her cervix is dilated more than 8 centimeters, we still have time to get her to a hospital. I delivered a baby earlier this year in the back of an SUV.
What? Where was that happen?
I don't know, off in the background.
This episode illustrates two things that sets the show apart. The showrunner's willingness to take risks time and again, as well as the faith placed in the viewers to really appreciate the little details without spoon-feeding it to them.
You know, you're scared that adding a new member might throw everything off of its natural rhythm.
While the psychology of letting go might not be as dramatic as Remedial Chaos Theory or as outrageous as the bottle episode,
I'm doing a bottle episode.
I don't think it gets enough credit for its writing or ambition. Let me know what you think.
You gain levels, and at a certain point, you actually can eat a ghost.
What?
Well, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like the video and send it to a fellow community fan. Alright, take care, bye.
Goodbye.